Okay. Okay, we're holding page 299. Did we finish up? I don't think we finished off the Mishna Berura. Yeah. The Mechaber had said, he cited Yeshomrim, the pashas Zohar and pashas Poro. The obligation to read it is Doraisa. Therefore, people live out in villages, they should come into locations where they have a minyan. For the Shabbos, the pashas Zohar, pashas Poro. Because these parshas are Doraisa. As said Ramos said, if you can't come, you should read it yourself with the nigun, meaning with the cantillations, with the what we call the trup, with the Tami HaMikra. Okay? Let's see, with Zion, Mishna Berura 299. Parsha Zohar, the Chsiv Zohar is Shir Osa, V'gamrin B'Gemara, Dai Zohar Hainu Ba'amiro. Firstly, you have to verbalize it. It's not just thinking it, remembering, meaning mind. Hainu Ba'amiro B'toch HaSefer, Davka. Has to be read from a Sefer Torah. It's not just to think it, as the word Zohar means. The Balkori has to have in mind to cover the listeners. And the listeners have to have in mind to be Yotzei. That's why they always make an announcement, Pasha Zohar, that everybody should have in mind to be Yotzei, the mitzvah of Zechiris Mechias Hamali. They make the announcement in Shul. I'm sure they do it in your Shul. Okay? When you throw the bags, be careful. Throw it only at the bar mitzvah boy, not at somebody else in the shul. They make those kinds of announcements also. Okay? Okay? It's dangerous. Parshas Poraduma. So not only is Parshas Zohar Doraisa, there's those who say the Parshas Poraduma. Harbi Achronim Kosh Parshu Einim B'Doraisa. Many Achronim, right? It's not. I mean, even the Rosh. The Rosh, the way he expresses it, he says it may be. Ein Leil Simin Samach Sivkon Yud Mishna Berura Dafil Mitzvah Rabbanon. Although even if it's rabbinical, Gam Kein Tzorich Lechavein Lotzis Li HaMitzvah. Still, see, Parsha Shkolim was saying what? So what Parsha Shkolim do we say? Shomei Kona. That's you can't make a shul for Parsha Shkolim. Seems to be Pashas Pora has a greater value for some reason, because he's making this point here. So therefore, the Mechaber says, since there's no Raisa, people live in villages where there is no minyan, they should try to go to communities where there is a minyan. Even if you're going to read it from a Sefer Torah, you have your own Sefer Torah, but you're not able to put a minyan together. Say better. You don't make an announcement by Porah. What do we have to wait to Chuk? On Parshas Porah. They only make the announcement Parshas Zohar. They make an announcement Porah? No. Well, 99, I've never heard. No. They make that announcement in your shul? Even the yeshivas, they don't make such an announcement. Yeshivas, they make an announcement Parshas Zohar, Parshas Porah, they don't make. No, because the presumption is most people heard it. That's why they don't make an announcement. The presumption is most people heard it. They don't do it. They don't. If somebody wasn't Yotzei, you go to Balkura privately, you say, by the way, have in mind, because I wasn't Yotzei. Because it's almost like embarrassing. Make public knowledge you should have been in shul on Parshas Zohar. Also, and the Diavad, you can be Yotzei on Purim. The Kriya of Purim, you can be Yotzei. Okay. Okay. Be the same thing. Better you shouldn't lane. Parshas Baruch should not lane. Yeah. No. Shkolim is okay, because that's definitely rabbinical. It's rabbinical. That's fine. He says, where do we come up that it has to be a minyan? You have to have. He says, maybe that's true. Even though the reading may be though, right? So the minyan is only rabbinical. To lane Parshas, to read it with a minyan, al-kabot ika kriya zochru doraisa. But the actual reading from the Sefer Torah, that is a doraisa. V'nei b'tshuvas desh kos the shmias kriyas Parshas Zohar ba'asora odef yoser mimikro megillah b'tzibur. Here, we hold la halacha. If you don't have a minyan for kriyas megillah, it's not a problem, right? It's better. It's a great Persuming Nisa. But since you're reading at a time of Persuming Nisa, one doesn't need a minyan for Kriyas Megillah. So he says it's more important. Let's see. He says it's person has a choice. You can only come once to the community. Either you can come on Parshas Zohar, Shabbos, or you can come Purim for Kriyas Megillah. So he says it's better to come for Parshas Zohar to read it with a minyan than reading the Megillah with a minyan. It's not a question of not reading the Megillah at all. You can read it, but you're not going to read it with a minyan. Shemikra Megillah, wait a second. The Dasrum Poskim, Sagim Ismanu B'Yochid. The way we rule halacha, according to most poskim, you could be yotzei as an individual. You can't come twice to town to make the trip. Yira l'kaim kri Parshas Zohar b'tzibur. So Parshas Zohar, the preference is Parshas Zohar should have dominion. So you should come to town for Parshas Zohar. Here, interesting. Mogav Ram says no, it's better to read Megillah in a Persuming Nisa with 10. Even though Yotze without 10. It's better to have 10. Parshas Zohar Yotze al pi adchak, Mashi Yishma Akri Bepurim, Parshas V'yova Amalek. Because you're going to be in town anyway. You'll be Yotze. Because that's only the Di'evet. L'chatchila, you're supposed to be Yotze with the reading in Kitseitze. The Di'evet, you're Yotze with the reading in Beshalach, at the end of Beshalach. Okay? The bezenam izochem as Amalek Yotze Chavosov Rotzelom the Yotze Medoraisa. V'inel meine Kaimelon Leil Sim Sabbat the Mitzvah. Oh, no, David knew when to come back. That we were Mitzvah Tzvichas Kavana, right? Yet Tzorch Beis Shmias Parshazu Lechavin Lotzeis. Right by Doraisa we hold Mitzvah Tzvichas Kavana. So Parshas Zohar is a Doraisa. You have to have specifically in mind that you want to be Yotze the Mitzvah of Zohar. Mitzvah Essay Shel Zohar. Avalani is daiti, but the Chofetz Chaim says, according to my humble opinion, Ika dino shemogad Avram tzorchiyun, doksiv bator zeucha es asher oselcha, asher korcha baderech, v'yizani b'cho timche, hakavash l'ishkoach masher oslon Amalek. It says, the main thing is, you not to forget what Amalek did to us. U'lesabze levonein doresein lomar lehem kach oslon harosho, kach l'stvin limchos eshmo, moshkos Rambam biuro, he says, according to his humble opinion, he's disagreeing with the Magen Avram. What is Parshas Zohar? Remember what Amalek did to us, because and therefore they should be obliterated. When we read the Parshas Vayova Amalek, it's just a story. They complained about the water, Vayova Amalek, and Hashem says, my throne is not complete until they're obliterated. Doesn't mention anything about Zohar. Remember what they did to us. So he says, based on his humble opinion, even b'diavad, you're not Yotze. With the reading on Purim, you're not Yotze. The only reason why the Magen Ram says it's better to come Purim, because b'diavad, you'll be Yotze with the reading of Purim. Chofetz Chaim says it's not simple. Even b'diavad, you're not going to be Yotze. Because the Zohar aspect is not mentioned in that Parsha. Therefore, he sticks to what he originally said. If you're going to come, it's better to come for Parsha Zohar, to have the minyan, rather than Megillah, because Megillah, you'll read it privately by yourself, and you'll have Zohar, you'll have dominion.
When you say Zohar, it says remember what he did. So when you read that Shalach, you actually remember, because you're saying, you're describing.
Here the Torah is focused. Remember to. Torah is saying that's what Torah says. Otherwise you say Zohar. Why does it have Zohar? You should write it the way it says it. Tell over the incident. What Zohar is to Sharosel HaMolek. So you have to be instructed. Zohar. Remember. 1600s.
I find it strange that one doesn't require agreement for the reading of the Megillah. Just for one's sake is to attract as many people to hear it.
No, that's not the way you read it. You know, we have advertising agencies for that. That's not the way you read it. The whole idea is it's Persuming Nisa. So good. So the Gemara says, we rule this way, like Ravasi, since you're reading it at a time of Persuming Nisa, it's sufficient. All Jews are reading the Megillah. For the 14th is a day, everybody reads the Megillah. That's sufficient. It's better. You're enhancing it if there are more people. Right, I always mention the Ritva. There's a famous Ritva. David, just reminding you, there's a famous Ritva. It says you have to, one opinion is you have to have 10. Do you need 10 men, or even if you have women among the group? So he says, not Tosus. So the Ritva says that for Kriyas Torah you need a minyan. That's Eidah. Eidah is 10 men. Here it's Pirsumi Nisa. Pirsumi Nisa means as long as they're Jews. It's to publicize the miracle. So therefore, even if women would be included in the group, that's sufficient. 10 doesn't have to mean 10 men. Okay? So let's say you read it in your house and you have just your family. So between the women and the men, you have 10 people. Not a problem. That's Pirsumi Nisa. Same thing with Chris Torah. Chris, there's no different. Okay, but Ramos says, but if you're not able to have dominion, you should read it, and you should read it with the Tami. He says, but a person should try to read it from a Sefer Torah. You know, villages, they had Sefer Torah. Every village had a Sefer, because people, a person has an obligation to have a Sefer Torah. They had Sefer Torah. But unfortunately, you don't have Jews. Like today, when they close down shuls, a shul could have had 40 Sefer Torah, but they couldn't get a minyan. So Sefer Torah you got plenty, but it's lacking minyanim. So you had villages, they had a Sefer Torah, because years earlier they had minyanim, but over time people moved to the larger cities, they didn't have minyanim anymore. So therefore, he says you should be machmir and read it from a Sefer, even if you don't have the minyan, from a Sefer Torah. B'nigunim betamom da. The Yeshomim tzarich likro zochor zecher amolik. Now this is the famous thing with the Gronti. Is it zecher amolik or zecher amolik? Is it a tzeri or is it a segel? Right? So in most shuls, they read it both ways. They say zecher, zecher. Okay? Yeshomim tzarich likro zecher amolik b'segel. V'alkein mi'anochon shikro shneim. So therefore, the proper thing is to read both readings. Tzeri and segel. 1 second. Lotzi Yishneim, Kosev Maril, it came until the Vilna Gaon. They read it one way. The Vilna Gaon is the one who brought up this thing about the segel and the tzeri. It's not simple. So, I'm not such an expert in diktuk, although I learned diktuk beyond 6th grade in Torah B'das, but to such an expert, the Vilna Gaon was the expert. Everybody agrees with the David Yotze, with the Zecher or Zecher Yotze. It's interesting. In Sidurim today, in Achrei, right, some Sidurim say Zecher Rav Tucho Yabiu, and some say Zecher. I saw two versions. Whether it's Nusach Sfar or Nusach Ashkenaz. Ashkenaz is Zecher. Zecher Rav Tucho Yabiu. I think by the Hasidim they say Zecher. But by Hasidim, you know how they pronounce? No. They pronounce it either way. With it Zecher, it sounds very similar. Change. It's only if it changes the meaning. That's when he has. Then you let him go.
Right. So in this case, Zecher and Zecher.
It's l'chatchila. This is because we're dealing with a doraisa. All kriya is drabonim.
So I'm not so sophisticated, but the word, the meaning is not changed, right?
No.
Either
Right.
version.
Right. Kosem Ariel b'cholabra pashas a maskir in the shamus. Okay, like a Rosh Chodesh when doesn't say a kel mole. Right. So the same thing. Like these parshas, for instance, you won't what? You don't say kel mole. A maskir in the shamus on these 4 parshas. V'omrim tzorak adin. Okay, and tzorak adin. It's koscha tzedek. But you say it's why? Because it's after the reading. The reading is what is after Shachris. This is in the afternoon already. So tzedkosa tzedek you can say in the afternoon. Erev Rosh Chodesh you don't say tzedkosa. If it's Rosh Chodesh you don't say tzedkosa. Correct? But here, since it's later in the day, you say tzedkosa. Wait, Lin Avarachmim. Avarachmim is similar. That's like Kel Moli, right? Velirabah b'shem hagos ma'imini diyesh lomar b'hem Avarachmim. You should say Avarachmim. Darkaboshem are real mashma and dein omrim b'hem Avarachmim. Today, our minigas we don't say Avarachmim. The Dal Parshas we don't say Avarachmim. It's like it's a semi Yom Tov because it's all preparing for Yom Tov, right? Whether it's Purim, whether it's Pesach, it has that. to remember, right? Machzah shekel, chen hitik der chaim lidin tiny shel, shushovim tat, einberg, hetiv, einshar tshuva. Okay. Good, good. Well, you say kel moli on Shabbos, right? You say kel moli on Shabbos. Avarachman's kel moli for all the Kedoshim throughout history who were murdered. We do say kel moli on Shabbos. No, kel moli is specific. Who do you say kel moli? The person has a yard site. Avarachman is just general. Because, good question. Because most people are in shul on Shabbos. During the week, people are not in shul on Shabbos. Right? That's the reason. But it's interesting. Right? So why? But we don't. Why do you say it? I mean, Kel Mali, you could say during the week also. Right? Okay. So Avarachmin is because we want to memorialize the Kedoshim. So really, it should be done during the week. But again, for the sake of COVID for the Kedoshim, people not in shul, they're not going to be memorialized.
The minhag of Chaim is to say Avarachim once a year.
That's the Yekis. The Yekis have different minhagim. It's a German minhag. I think Orach Chaim, it's rooted in the German minhag. That's the reason. I think KJ also has a lot of German minhagim. No, I'm not saying in this area. Like the striped pants at the top and the bowler hat and the Van Dyke. What? They even say for the Sergeant McGuire, who was killed in Iraq, right? It's interesting. This is saying something facetious here, David. When you write a get, a person writes a get, it has to be written the way the name is pronounced. And if the spelling is not correct, it's not a valid get, because it's another name. So Rav Henkin, when, he has a seif he put out, it's called the Edel Yisrael. Rav Henkin was the equivalent of Rav Moshe. He was contemporary Rav Moshe Feinstein, said it's Rocha. And he was like blind for the last 15 years of his life. He knew everything by heart. People would come speak to him. He would say, bring out the sefer. He'd give him the page number, where to look it up, which line it was. And as the person read it, he would read along with him. I mean, that was the type of memory he had, Rav Henkin. So Rav Henkin, he has Shemus Noshim, the names of women. So if you remember, I don't know in South Africa, but probably they pronounce the same. Let's say the name Charlotte. A European Jew who came over from Europe, how do you say Charlotte? He didn't say Charlotte. He couldn't say Charlotte. No, Chas Charlotte. 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 That's the way it was pronounced. So based on that, so in the early part of 20th century, so if among Jews, because the whole idea is to identify the person who received the divorce. So he would spell. So how do you write Charlotte? Charlotte, right? He spells it the way it was pronounced. So in those days it was pronounced Charlotte, because they couldn't say Char. The Europeans, they couldn't say Char. Charlotte. Today, when they write a get, it would be spelled differently. If you spell it the way it was spelled then, what is this? It's because we don't pronounce the name that way. Yeah. So I'm just saying. Whatever it is, they have to sound it out with the letters that should sound the way it's pronounced in the way people pronounce the name. So I'm saying, Sergeant McGillicuddy. Could you imagine a European rabbi pronouncing that kind of name? What it would sound like? Okay, that's the joke. Yeah. You want to take that, you could be busy half the service with that car stove. Everything has its place. Everything has its place.
At KJ, we name all of the...
You want to do it at the Kiddush, do it at the Kiddush. I know, that's exactly why I'm saying it.
All the names of the people who died during the week are mentioned.
Members of the shul.
No.
In Iraq or Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, KJ,
No, they just mentioned